Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your time. Today, we're going to talk about negative self-talk because, over the years with my patients, I see this as a very, very limiting obstacle in our growth. When we talk about our growth, it could be our health. Sometimes negative talk could be the reason why we're not healing or recovering from a certain condition. Could be diabetes, and many times it's even cancer. There are some patients who indulge in so much of negative talk, not because they want to, it's because it's become part of themselves. And we need to understand and get to the root cause of, why we negatively criticize ourselves, or where does this negative talk come from? Because I know for sure we don't wake up in the morning and decide that let's talk negatively to ourselves today, let's talk positively to ourselves tomorrow. It's become a habit, and this habit is stemmed from, it could be anything. It could be from your upbringing. It could be from the time you were in school, university, the kind of friends you had, the social circle you were in. It could be things that people said to you. It could be things that your parents said to you. Like a lot of parents, when they were kids, they were told that they were useless, good for nothing, back of the class, worst students, all of that stuff. And what happens is when the human mind is like a sponge when we're young, between the age of 2 and 8, maybe even 9. The subconscious mind is like a sponge. So we have a subconscious mind and we have a conscious mind. You need to understand this concept, okay? Because a lot of people touch negative self-talk with something called affirmations, which is really good. It's right. But everyone just does it without understanding how the affirmation is actually going to negate negative talk. So you always need to understand how things work in the human mind. And then when you start doing affirmations, or many of you will realize that you'll have been doing affirmations the wrong way. And that's why, you go through lists and lists of affirmations, but nothing seems to change in your life. So there's a subconscious mind and a conscious mind, okay? The subconscious mind, when between the age of 2 and 8 and 9, it's like a sponge. Whatever the subconscious mind sees, hears, and smells. So I don't know how many of you can even remember childhood smells. Like you get a particular smell and immediately you get an image of something in your childhood, because that's in your subconscious mind as well. So what you see, what you hear, what you smell, the things that people, talk about when you're around, what you may have seen on the TV, or you may remember a ghost story that someone told you, or a happy story. All of that is in your subconscious mind. It's like a sponge absorbing everything. It doesn't filter out anything. It doesn't filter out the good. It doesn't filter out the bad. It doesn't filter out the truth. It doesn't filter out lies. The conscious mind develops along with the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is an analytical mind. It can work with logic. It can work with rationale. We can think, we can process, we can choose what is dangerous, what is safe, what is happy, what is sad, what is negative, what is positive. That's our conscious mind that develops like layers along with our subconscious mind. So there's a reason why, we try to teach our children to brush their teeth, or we potty train them, toilet train them at a particular age, because that action is going to become part of their subconscious mind, and they're never going to forget how to do it. The same thing like cycling. Most of you will never forget how to cycle because it's your subconscious mind that makes you get onto a cycle now, start pedaling, balance without you having to think about it. That's your subconscious mind because it is in your subconscious mind like a computer program. Okay? So whatever the good things are that you heard from your parents, the values that they instilled in you is in your subconscious mind. Also the bad, whatever you saw as a child could be something negative. You could have been, you could have been witnessed the bad things being said, fights between your parents, the way people treated one another. That's also in your subconscious mind today. And then you move into school. You saw children behaving. You may have gotten bullied. Maybe you didn't get bullied. Or what your teachers said to you, how they made you feel in class, whether there was favoritism, you were always put down or you were always elevated. That goes into your subconscious mind as well. And then you move into high school, where most of us as teenagers try to conform to what are the cool things, and some don't. And all of that goes into our subconscious as well. And our conscious mind is growing. So now today, most of our behaviors are driven by what is in our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind decides, even though I may know that negative self-talk is bad, your conscious mind tells you, this is nothing that's productive for me. This is something which is not positive for me. But yet, you are so strongly driven by your subconscious mind that you do it over and over again. It's the same thing. We all know sugar is bad. Our conscious mind knows that sugar is bad, but our subconscious mind will drive us to consume and overconsume sugar. The same thing. We all know it's useless to think about sad thoughts because it makes us feel sadder. It's useless to, dwell in jealousy or anger or hatred or lust because it doesn't get us anything. But yet, the subconscious mind, if it's molded that way, will keep pushing us into it. Is it possible to change? Of course, we got to rewrite those patterns. We got to change those neural patterns in your subconscious mind. They were formed. They can also be broken. They can also be broken. So bad habits can be broken by rewiring, by not doing those bad habits or feeding them anymore. The subconscious mind suddenly thinks that, hey, Luke was working in this particular direction. Now it's changing every day. It's confused. It'll keep pulling you like addiction. It'll keep pulling you, but the more you keep doing it the right way, then all of a sudden your subconscious mind now gets programmed that this is the right way to behave or lead your life or talk or think or whatever. And I make a new neural pattern in my brain and my subconscious mind is programmed. So it happens with repetition, practice over and over again, practice and visualization as well. So when we talk about negative self-talk, we have an inner voice. Everyone has an inner voice and everyone has an inner critic as well. The inner critic is the term that we want to give to our inner voice. The inner voice is either telling you the right things, the nice things, the wrong things, or it's criticizing you. Where is all this criticism coming from? How do you know how to criticize yourself? It's not you. It's driven by the program that is in your subconscious mind. It is driven by your perception of the problem. Okay? Now, over the years, we need to understand, and even today, that the words that we speak, every word that we speak, okay, there is a seed planted into your subconscious mind. Whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whether you're speaking to someone, all of that is getting stored into your subconscious mind. Every single word. Think of it. Think of your subconscious mind as a garden of fertile soil. And every time I speak a word, that word is a seed going into that fertile soil. It's either going to grow the right way or it's going to grow the wrong way. Now, I can kill that seed if I identify it early, or it can grow into weeds, it can grow into flowers, and it can grow into a pattern, which becomes our behavior, our reality. Okay? So we have neural patterns. It's the same thing of brushing our teeth. You wake up in the morning, no one has to tell you, you automatically go and brush your teeth. So you see, it's a pattern that your subconscious mind relates to. Wake up, circadian rhythm, light hits your eye, body wakes up, the clock works. Subconscious mind connects, get up, go brush your teeth without you even having to remind yourself. Your conscious mind doesn't have to play a role in this at all. It's your subconscious mind. The same thing when you drive a car. By now, when you drive a car, you'll realize you've completed a whole journey and you don't even remember parts of it. So if you were not driving consciously, what was driving your car? Your subconscious mind, okay? It's a program replaying over and over again. Now, the same thing with an emotion. Imagine if I take an emotion and I keep playing it over and over again. I'm strengthening that neural pattern. Okay, a neuron means neural paths, neural pathways. Okay, so if we go back to school time, multiplication tables, how did we learn? 2 into 2 is 4, 4 into 2 is 8, and we kept on repeating it. Your teacher would make you repeat it. Your mom would make you repeat it until it's in your subconscious mind. Okay, it's formed a neural pattern, a neural pathway. Okay, so what happens is, so we either have the right pathways or we have the wrong pathways. So now when you're going through something negative, if I keep thinking about it, okay, I'm only strengthening the neural pattern. I know by thinking that negative way is not going to solve my problem. You know it and I know it. It's not going to solve our problem. But yet, every time we start doing it, the pattern's growing stronger and stronger in your subconscious mind. After a while, it is so strong in your subconscious mind that you start behaving from that pattern, from that negative pattern, and you're not even aware of it. All of a sudden, your friends start saying, hey, you've changed, you have a very negative approach to life, you only keep talking sad things all the time, and you think, that's not true, that's not me, because your conscious mind doesn't believe it. But you're acting and behaving from your subconscious pattern because you've given so much of attention and energy to that thought that has become part of you. So let's say you go through a bad relationship, you go through a betrayal, whatever it is, or you go through your best friend, betrays you, or whatever it is. Now it's happened. The event is real. Okay, you are going to go through the feelings. You are going to go through all of that stuff. But if you keep going through those feelings without taking action, like, okay, I'm going through those feelings. Now, what action do I take? Do I continue in this relationship? Do I speak to that person? Do I try to work it out? Do I try to do everything depending on how important that relationship is? Or do I let go of it, move on, do something else and stuff like that? 2 action points. But if you don't take these action points because you're so busy going in. Why me? Why did this person do it? I gave so much. I did so much. All your expectations, all your sympathy, everything comes up. Guess what? You're making that neural pattern deeper and deeper into your subconscious mind. After a while, you become that. So now you move on in life, you move on, you meet someone new. Now that neural pattern is formed on, let's use the same example, betrayal, mistrust. You can't trust anyone anymore. You can't trust that person, but your pattern has become such that you can't trust anyone. But that's not right. Only one person betrayed your trust. It doesn't mean everyone around you is wrong, but your pattern has become your behavior now. So you come across anyone in life who may be trying to get close to you, or you're trying to get close to them. Your behavior will not come from your conscious mind. It will. But most of your behavior will come from your subconscious mind, which is the pattern that exists in you. So what is your pattern when it comes to love? What is your pattern when it comes to sex? What is your pattern when it comes to health, working out, sugar, food, entertainment? All of these things is the pattern that you have made through your life experiences, through everything that you've read. Probably you read some books, you read some self-help books, and all of that contributed to the building of your neural pattern in your mind. But now your behavior comes from there. So that's exactly what is happening now when you negative self-talk. So you keep saying, I'm not good enough. Where is this coming from? Maybe someone told you at a very young age that you're not good enough, and you grew up not wanting to believe that, but guess what? It's in your subconscious mind. So you may be the best person today, okay? But you still limit yourself by thinking you're not good enough. You have to change that neural pattern in your mind. If you think you're not good enough, you're limiting everything that comes into your life. You're limiting every single aspect. No one can change that. Luck can't change that. Faith can't change that. Destiny can't change that, because there's no control of these three aspects on your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is your subconscious mind. It's as simple as that. What is in the program is what will run your life. So when it comes to negative self-talk, before we get into what we can do, let's understand how it harms us. One of the biggest causes of mental health and mental depression today is negative self-talk. That's one. Number two, it's scientifically noted, the more negative self-talk you have, your muscles get weaker and weaker. And we have so many patients who have muscle dystrophy and different neuron conditions which weaken the muscles, and negative self-talk is a big part of their life. I'm not saying it caused it, but yes, if it can weaken your muscles, okay, it is contributing to every possible disease that you have that involves your muscles. Negative self-talk can impact your hormones. You can have an immediate hormonal imbalance. So from PCOD to infertility to everything to do with your hormones, negative talk can do that. How does that happen? If I negative self-talk myself right now into something that stresses me out, I raise my cortisol. My cortisol increases my adrenaline, my estrogen, my pregnenolone, my progesterone. Everything goes out of balance. So the more negative talk, the more hormonal imbalance I have. That's why a lot of people chasing weight loss plans and exercise, some of them and most of them never always meet their results unless they work holistically on themselves. They have to look at their emotional health, how much of negative self-criticism they have, and all of these things. A lot of people are desperate to lose weight. They're so desperate. They would do anything. That desperation comes from a lot of negativity, probably because it's lowered their self-worth, their self-confidence, or someone made fun of them, or they were judged, or they were not made to feel, or be accepted in society. So they started criticizing themselves negatively for putting on that weight. Or every time they ate a donut or something sweet, they will feel that guilt and criticize themselves and say, I hate myself. I keep doing this all the time. And all that just builds a vicious cycle. And after a while, your diet doesn't matter and your exercise doesn't matter, because it is your negative self-talk that is creating the fundamental platform of stress in your body. And because you have stress, you're unable to reach your health goals or your weight goals. It leads to more stress. Negative self-talk, like I showed you, leads to more stress. It also decreases your self-worth and your self-confidence. Imagine you going into society or going for a new job, already thinking that you're not good enough, or that you don't look good, or that there's someone out there better than you. Okay, are you going to be successful? No, you've already started off on a foot of failure. So it can also lower your self-worth and your self-confidence, and it can limit every aspect in your life. So, some people are so crazy to just fall in love. They will accept anything that comes that way. Even if someone gives them a little bit of attention, they'll perceive it that the person loves them. They'll perceive it that the person cares for them, and they'll be, that's the person for me. That's the person for me. But what they've not understood is that they've limited their thinking so much that they will accept anything that makes them feel good. So it is so important for us to understand our self-worth, our self-worth. What is our definition of love? What is our definition? So say, let's take, for example, there's someone out there, a guy or girl, who may not look that great. And they feel they've always grown up, someone saying that you're ugly, you're dark colored, you're this, you're that. And so you believe that love can never come to you because you don't look good enough. So you drop your standards of expectation, you drop your standards of love, and you just accept anything that comes from a space of desperation. So that is why it is so important for us to fix negative self-talk. Perfectionism. A lot of people are perfectionists. There are pros and cons of this. Perfectionists who cannot handle how they feel when things don't go their way, it becomes very limiting for them. Then they start negative self-talk. You know, because number one thing I always say for perfectionists, it's a great thing, but channel the energy of you being a perfectionist into excellence, not into trying to control everything. If things don't happen the way you want to, you have to learn to be okay with that, because nothing in life is perfect. Your partner doesn't have to be perfect. Your child doesn't have to be perfect. Your boss doesn't have to be perfect. And your servants don't have to be perfect. They don't owe that to you. Okay, they can be the best that they can, but they don't have to be as perfect as you want them to be. So when you expect that every time something is not as per your definition of perfectionism, you start taking it out on yourself. You're harsh with yourself. And all of that leads to more negative self-talk and more stress and everything that follows. Feeling of depression is real, because every time you keep putting your own self down by saying, I'm ugly, I don't look good, I don't like my color, I don't like my weight, I don't like who I am, I don't deserve this, maybe I don't deserve this at all, maybe it's my karma. The way people use the word karma today, you know, it's literally reached a point of, you know, disgust. Everyone is like, you know, oh, this happened to me, it's my karma, I have to accept it. It doesn't have to be your karma. It just could be that you did the wrong things and now you need to shut up and fix it. As simple as that. I like the way everyone blames everything on karma, because when you blame it on karma, guess what? You stop taking action to correct it because you believe it's your destiny. You believe that you've earned it. Yes, karma is real, but it's not for you to decide what's happening in your life is caused because of karma. So many cancer patients are like, oh, Luke, this is my destiny. This is my karma. I did bad in my life. And they've like given up. Like, change your attitude right now or you are going to die. That is not designed for you to think. If it is going to be your karma and you are going to die, you're going to die. Okay, but right now, that's not for you to decide. You have to move into action mode, not stay into victim mode, hiding behind karma and karma and karma, and you pull out all your spiritual books thinking that you'll find a resolution over there. You never find your resolution in spiritual books. You find your resolution in action. The spiritual books will give you knowledge, but if you don't put it into action, you're just a human being wasting your time hiding behind so-called spiritualism and religion. It has to be knowledge with action. Otherwise, it is only knowledge and it doesn't change your life. So, you know, a lot of people, they chant and they say, look, I'm trying. I'm saying, sorry, you are not trying hard enough. You are not trying hard enough because you know the concept. And yes, your concept is right of what you need to do, but you're just not doing it. You're not doing it consistently. You're not doing it with discipline. You're not doing it with faith and belief that it's the right path. So why will it work for you? Then you build up more and more negative self-talk. Oh, although I did so many Gita classes and Bible classes, the world is against me. Nothing is improving in my life. Still your fault. It is still your fault. You've chosen a path to complain and to blame. Just because you took a couple of Bible classes or Gita classes doesn't mean your life has to change. Maybe there's a lot that you first need to change within you. There's a lot of action that you need to take. Maybe you got to stop the self-criticism, the negative self-talk for your life to get better. Because as long as you are talking negatively to yourself, you can't move on. You can't feel different. No one can make you feel better if you yourself are criticizing you. No one can make you feel better if you've not yet forgiven yourself. No one can make you feel loved if you don't know how to love yourself. It's as simple as that. So stop searching outwards and look inwards. Okay, so let's go into resolution mode and what we can do, because these are all easy things to say, but difficult things to do. Two stories, because I know I mentioned pregnancy in this. You know, over the last couple of years, I've had so many moms who come to me infertile. They're unable to deliver babies. Some of them have genuine medical issues, problems with the fallopian tubes, ovaries, all of that stuff, or sperm count or sperm quality in their husbands or whatever. Those are obviously, you see the signs and you know the reason why they can't, and you take the necessary action. But you know, when moms come to you and they've tried and everything is okay health-wise, or you have, you know, moms who suddenly lose their babies in the second week or the third week or the fourth week, or they have a child who's born and the child dies within 6 weeks of childbirth, or the child suddenly gets a deadly disease and dies, or suddenly gets struck down with cancer. I've noticed a pattern. Now, this pattern doesn't have to be real for you, but it's a pattern worth talking about, okay? Because it's related to negative self-talk. When I sit down with these women and their husbands and I break it down to the lowest detail, today I start off with one question, okay? Did you want this baby in the first place? Be honest with me and tell me everything. You know, 95% out of 100 people will know, Luke, at some point, the baby came too early. We did not plan for a baby. It was unplanned. And my husband and I went through 3 weeks of emotions, and we just didn't want the baby because it would spoil our life. We were just newly married and stuff like that. You have to understand this. Your subconscious mind, you are telling your subconscious mind that you do not want a baby. Your subconscious mind's job is to follow what you ask of it. If you put that into your subconscious mind, you're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly thinking about, I don't want this baby, it's going to change my life. No, I wish we had not done this. The girl fights with her husband. Why weren't you careful? All of that stuff. Your subconscious mind is only seeing that no baby, stop baby, no baby. This is so true, which is why we tell women who are getting pregnant, enjoy the journey. Okay, at some point, if you don't want it, and we've been able to relate this to even abortions, and you know, women have said that, Luke, the moment I got pregnant, I just didn't want that baby in me at all, because I didn't want to bring up this baby into a joint family where my sister was raped as a child and child abuse. You get what I'm saying? It goes to a depth of emotional abuse where the bearer of the child doesn't want it, but the child still happens. Okay, and at some point, you have to understand what you ask for happens, and what you don't, it goes away. Your subconscious mind controls everything. So imagine a mother going through an entire 9th-month pregnancy, not wanting that child. Believe me, your subconscious mind will find a way for that child not to exist. Or, okay, many women are forced into getting pregnant. They never wanted to have a child because they went through child abuse. They went through rape, and they grow up with that bitterness of having a baby in them. That baby usually grows up sick or with cancer or is aborted half the way. These are truths I'm saying. I'm not saying it has to be your story. It's worth exploring if you've gone through it, okay? Because it's like a pill. I always tell you, if you take a pill and you don't believe the pill is going to work for you, it's not going to work for you. It is not going to work for you because your subconscious mind already knows that this pill is not going to work for me, but yet I'm taking it. At the same time, I can use it as a placebo. I can give you a sugar pill, and because you trust me, and Lucas said the sugar pill will take care of your headache, you will take it and your headache will disappear. Because your subconscious mind believes that when I take this pill, Luke said the pill will take away my headache, and the headache's gone. It works on a scientific phenomenon of placebo and nocebo. So placebo I can gain, and nocebo can become very, very negative for me. So when young women are going through pregnancy and all of these things, it is so important. That's why your own gynecologist will tell you, relax, enjoy the journey, listen to music, listen to nice music, because your baby is hearing everything and your subconscious mind is processing everything. So a lot of mothers are, they give birth and they think, I'm not good enough for a mom. I'll fail as a mom. I'll be this way. And that's exactly every decision and every behavior that they make comes from that space of them believing that they're not going to be good moms, or the dads are not going to be good dads. This is all negative self-talk. You know, I've shared this story before at a public event, you know, where I had a mom come in with her daughter. The daughter had eczema all over her body. And the mom had brought it to me, and the mom was like, Luke, we need to get rid of this eczema. I can't stand to see my child with all of this on her skin and all of that stuff. So she finished. And the next day, the mom comes back to me and she shows me her finger, the mom's finger. Her full finger is covered with eczema. I asked her, what did you do? It's been just 24 hours since I met. She's saying, Luke, that night I sat up and I kept begging that the eczema transfers from my daughter's body to me. Now, can you believe that? In 24 hours, her subconscious mind has given her what she asked for. Now, a lot of you would be thinking that I keep asking, and trying to manifest and asking my subconscious mind for things every day, but I don't get it. My point is, I'm not here to tell you what you get and what you won't get. I'm here to tell you that the subconscious mind works with two things. true desire and feeling an emotion with it. How does manifestation work? Thought plus emotion. So if I want to say that I want $1 million in 3 months, that's not enough. I need to visualize $1 million, and how will I feel when I have $1 million? How am I going to feel? I'm enjoying it. So it comes with a thought and a feeling. So with our subconscious minds, it usually comes with a thought. The thought of, I don't want to see my daughter like this. Give me all the eczema, with so much of emotion. Manifestation. Negative self-talk. So if negative self-talk can work to give us what we want, what happens when we change that to positive self-talk? A lot. Everything. So let's move into, it all starts with a thought, mindfulness. Most of us don't even know our thoughts. Have you ever gone through the experience of being addicted to your sadness, addicted to anger, addicted to jealousy? Like, you know it's wrong, but now you're addicted to it. Your life doesn't seem normal if you've not gone through some amount of sadness in a day, if you've not gone through some amount of jealousy or envy or whatever and stuff like that. You become addicted to it because you've become that. Your neural pattern has become what you constantly thought about. So how do we stop negative self-talk? One is through mindfulness. We have to be conscious, and that's why we tell people meditate. We need to live consciously. We need to be aware of our thoughts and how we're feeling all the time, and it's possible. So like right now, if I start feeling a little negative, I really want to stop what I'm doing if I can and think, what was I thinking? You can only feel that if you were thinking something. What were my thoughts? Okay? And now when you're aware of those thoughts, you have the ability to change those thoughts. You have the ability to change and remove your focus from those thoughts to something else, which we're going to talk about. But if you don't, because you're living mindlessly, those thoughts, you're going to think more and more, and that feeling is going to become more and more. Remember, thought equals feeling. You can't have a feeling without a thought. Example, right now, all of you try to be sad. You can't be sad unless you think of something sad. All of you try to be happy. You can't be happy unless you think of something happy. So you can't change certain fundamentals. Thought equals feeling. So the way you're feeling, immediately you need to become mindful and aware of what you're thinking so that you can take action. Negative thoughts will come. So right now, you're reminded of a relationship that went bad or something that bad that happened in the relationship. So immediately you start feeling all those emotions that come with it. But I'm mindful. I think, oh, I'm reminded of that relationship. Change thought, move to something else. Whatever it is, you listen to a song, you change your thought, you distract yourself, you read a book, but the feeling will change immediately. But you'll start thinking that talk and you'll start saying, oh, did I deserve that? Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I deserve that behavior. Maybe I did something wrong in my past life, my 10th life, my 15th life, my 20th life. All that shit comes up, which isn't necessary because you are only thinking something which is not real. Thoughts and feelings are not real. You know that. Thoughts and feelings are not real. Your thoughts are not real. Your feelings are not real. When I say they're not real, it doesn't mean you don't feel it. You feel it, but it's not what's exactly happening in your life. It's your thought based on an illusion or a past experience that is making you feel the way you are. So you are feeling sad, but your sadness is not real. That's not happening in your life right now. So what you need to understand is you have to live with mindfulness, consciousness, and awareness. And the moment you start feeling, that is why we need to check into ourselves all the time. I love all religions. I respect all religions. Something that I really like from Islam. They check in with themselves 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Now, I don't know if other people do it in Hinduism or in the Bible or whatever, but I'm talking about what I know. 5 times a day, they stop to pray. In that prayer, they're not only praying, they're checking in. How am I feeling? Let me offer gratitude. Am I having a good day? That is such a beautiful practice to check in. So I'm mindful about how I'm feeling. So if there's something negative, I can take action and I can change that. If I'm self-talking myself into something negative, I can arrest that behavior immediately. Okay? So now let's say you're thinking a negative thought or you're talking negatively to yourself that, no, I'm just not good enough. I can't do this. No, I don't know what's going to happen. I may lose my job with this COVID thing and I want to have money and, all of that stuff. And, but you arrest yourself in that way. Yes. But is this thinking going to sort anything out for me? No. What can I do? What can I do? Can I take up a job online? Can I learn a new language? Can I get a new skill? Can I start visualizing a brand new relationship? Can I look at this relationship and see what I can do to make it better? Do I need to talk to someone about this? Can I get counseling? Can I change my nutrition? There are so many things that you can do. You have to move from the thought to action. So now let's say I start by saying that, I'm not good enough. I've never felt I'm good enough. Okay, you catch yourself doing that. Don't stop it there. But I'm trying to be a better person. I am meditating every day. I'm exercising. I am writing a gratitude journal. So I'm converting a negative neural pattern into something positive. That is absolutely fine. And it is great to rewire your subconscious. So I start off saying, oh, I'm not good enough. I look in the mirror and say, oh, I got pimples today and I'm so ugly and, all of that stuff. You catch yourself. But I'm changing my nutrition. I'm learning to love myself. I have so many people who love me the way I am. With my pimples, with my acne, they make me feel so good. I'm changing my neural pattern. Now, if I didn't arrest myself, I am strengthening the old negative neural pattern. So you see, all of us will find ourselves negative self-talking to ourselves. We all will. Every human will. Every single human. Spiritual leaders, yogis, yoginis, whatever they're called, whatever it is. Because that's how the human mind works. You will not only have positive thoughts, but how fast you are to move it from a negative to a positive and change the wiring of your neurons is how effective you're going to be. Using strong words. I hate the government, okay, is only making things worse for you. I dislike parts of the government. I hate this person. I dislike. Hate adds more power and intensity to those words, which are seeds that you're putting into your mind. So with hate comes certain behaviors. With hate comes a certain degree of intensity. So no matter what, you are responsible to choose the right words. Choose the right words. It is so important. So important. So every time you change the degree of intensity, so I hate myself. You know what your subconscious is hearing over there? Everything in your body that it's not good enough. So not only one aspect of your life is going to be affected, every aspect of your life. But if you can be specific, I dislike this trait of me getting angry all the time. I don't like how angry I get. I would like to change that. So to do that, I'm meditating, I'm breathing, and I feel better when I do that. That is how you change the pattern. It's as simple as that. Anyone who tells you to think positive all the time, don't listen to them. You cannot think positive all the time. That's the worst advice anyone can give you. But how you can change from negative to positive is brilliant for you. And that is what we need to practice. Our negative self-talk also comes from a space of, am I a good person? We tell ourselves that I don't think I'm a good person. And you've already linked it to your own failures. Maybe people told you that, but over and above that, you made it worse by linking everything to you being a good person. You are a good person. You may have failed. It doesn't change whether you're a good or bad person. Maybe your relationships didn't work out. It does not change the fact of you being a good or bad person. These are two separate things. Two separate things. We got to keep the event and who you are completely different. You did something bad that resulted in a bad event, but you're still a good person. You did something bad. Everyone's done something bad. Everyone has guilt. Everyone has regrets. Every human being. I am telling you that 100%. Okay? It doesn't make you a bad person. Now you go on doing the same things and you keep harming someone and you keep, being dishonest or whatever it is. You can say those are really bad things for you to continue doing. But you may have done 10 bad things in your life. It doesn't make you a bad person. But your negative self-talk now links everything because you have termed yourself as not a good person anymore. So everything that you do comes from a space of you having labeled yourself as not a good person. It's as simple as that. So we talk about guilt and regret. Like I said, everyone has guilt and regret. Everyone. But it just doesn't define who you are today. It doesn't define who you are going to be tomorrow. Whatever has happened has happened. The situation has happened. The situation has passed. Okay, you are focused now with your negative self-talk on only the regret and the bad things. What if you started also focusing on all the good things and the right things that you did? It's not possible that you only did bad things. You would have also done a lot of good things. But because you're so consumed in your negative self-talk, you only focus on the bad. And the neural pattern becomes deeper and deeper and more ingrained in your subconscious mind. Okay, I did something, I feel guilty, I have a regret, but now can I change? Is it going to define my today? Is it going to define my tomorrow? What about all the other good things that I did? When I think about that, I'm not a bad person. I did something bad a couple of times, but I am not a bad person. You got to self-talk yourself into believing that. But because the guilt is consuming you, you've now assumed a victim role where you've put yourself down to self-punish yourself. You're self-punishing yourself because of your own guilt and regret. Every human being has guilt and regret. You cannot let it consume you. You cannot. It will rob you of every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life. You want to go out and take a little bit of harmless revenge, feel better, all of that stuff, do it. Anything that will get you over your hurt, betrayal, and all of that stuff, as long as it doesn't harm you. But negative self-talk and putting yourself down is not going to solve your problem, nor is it going to solve the problem or the event that you caused because of the probable mistake that you made. So self-talk is useless, absolutely useless. Move it into action. What can I do to prevent that from happening again? What can I do to make sure that I am better and I don't repeat the mistake? But you don't go and decrease your self-worth and confidence by saying, I'm a bad person. You're not a bad person. You are you. You are a human being. Every human being has the possibility of making mistakes, good, bad, all of that stuff. Every human being. And most of them have done it already. Okay, so we talk about guilt at the same time. Now, a lot of us try to predict what our future should be, how our day should be. And when it doesn't happen, because we know even the best astrologers cannot predict what's going to happen. So imagine us trying to predict because we want to be in control all the time. When it doesn't happen our way, we start talking negatively to ourselves. We start getting angry. We start thinking that no one wants to cooperate with me. I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm in the wrong relationship. Maybe I'm in the wrong whatever. Whereas the only thing wrong is you putting yourself down. Your own inner voice has become your inner critique. It is criticizing you all the time. And no one likes to be criticized. No one likes to be criticized. A lot of people try to show that, oh, I'm open to positive criticism and all that. No one likes to do it. Some people may be open to it, okay, but no one likes it. So imagine if you don't like being criticized, what happens in your subconscious mind when you criticize yourself? Now, first thing is, means you don't love yourself. If you can't love yourself, how can other people love you? You know, a lot of people in relationships, they get all the love in the world, but they just can't see it and feel it because they don't know how to love themselves. If you don't know how to love yourselves, you cannot see or feel someone else's love. You feel it in other abstract ways like material things, gifts, going out on dinner dates, having sex, all of those things which come with tangible feelings. But you will never experience the true essence because you yourself, you don't know how to love yourself. Then people in these relationships become so dependent on their partners or their world to say the right things always, to make them feel good all the time, because they don't know how to make themselves feel good themselves. Because the negative self-talk and self-criticism is slowly removing layer and layer of their self-worth. And like I always say, it starts within. You can't expect someone to make you feel loved if you don't know how to love yourself. You can't make someone, you know, make you feel appreciated if you don't know how to appreciate yourself. If the feeling doesn't come from in you, you can't expect someone else to compliment you on that part of it. It's great when it comes from outwards, but we can't be blind to it because we've destroyed ourselves with our own self-negative talk. So a lot of young girls and boys grow up thinking that they're not deserving of love. They're not deserving of money. They're not deserving of so many things. Where do these thoughts come from? Their subconscious mind, from their upbringing, from their friends, from what they saw on TV. All of that forms the way they see life. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. So when someone suddenly gets love in their life, they start behaving so negatively because it's coming from a space of, I don't deserve this. This is too good to be true. Oh no, how can someone love me? I've never heard these words in my life. And someone's saying it to me. And they destroy the relationship from their own negativity because they're unable to accept, you know, something that they don't deserve, that they feel they don't deserve. So today we must all reflect at the end of our day, you know, what neural patterns have we built in our mind? Okay, write down love, write down sex, write down money, abundance, health, and reflect. Are you deserving of all these things? Or somewhere do you feel that you're not deserving of these things? Let me give you an example. I had a smoker who came to me with lung cancer, smoked for 50 years. And when I'm speaking to him, he's saying, Luke, you know, if I have to die, I deserve to die because I smoked. Like, you don't deserve to die. He's already come in thinking that because I did something bad, I deserve to die. No one deserves to die. Now, whether that smoking is going to contribute to his death is a different thing. But unless he changes his attitude and believes that, no, I made a mistake. There are people who are smoking to the age of 90 and they're living. I deserve to live. Only then is his treatment going to be successful for him. So I want all of you all to break this up. Very, very important for you. So we've spoken about predicting, breaking the loop. The moment you start spiraling into negative self-talk, you have to break the loop. No one can do it. Your psychologist, your counselors, no drugs can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. So sometimes write down, what do you self-criticize yourself with? What are these 5 or 6 things that come in your mind where you feel, no, I don't deserve this, or I'm not good enough? And you have to work at rewiring it in the way that I told you about it. Choose your thoughts. It is so important for people to have a thought list. I tell so many people to do it. No one ends up doing it because they don't believe in the simplicity and the magic of having a thought list. You know what a thought list is? I have a thought list. I have 3 things on my thought list, okay? Anytime I feel bad, if I look at this list, immediately I feel a little bit better. It doesn't take away my problem. It doesn't take away my stress, but I've shifted my thinking from the negative thought to a positive thought. I need that reminder to shift, because sometimes when you're in negativity, you can't think of something positive. Make a thought list. Make a list of things that the moment you read it, you feel happy no matter what's happening in your life, okay? Or it could be a song, it could be a video clip, it could be anything. Have a thought list. So that helps you through the process. So right now I may go through so much of negativity, but I look at my list and I can choose now. I don't want to focus on those thoughts. I want to spend more time on these thoughts. Maybe I will have to go back to those negative thoughts because I have to take action. But right now I can shift. So have a thought list, have a gratitude list. So sometimes when you're feeling really low and you're self-talking about yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly. But then you look at your gratitude list. Okay, I may think I'm ugly, but I have so many friends who love me for who I am. I have so many clothes that I feel so good when I'm wearing it. I have great holidays. I have money in the bank. I have a beautiful family that loves me. Immediately, you've changed the neural pattern of what your negativity was. It is so simple, so simple. You see, when you look out in the industry today, everyone thinks only good-looking people are successful. But when you really look at the most successful people, they don't have to look good to be successful. But because we watch social media all the time and we see all these things, we have a neural pattern that only, oh, to be accepted in society, I have to look great. You know, flash my Rolex watch and, you know, come by in a fancy car and only then am I going to be accepted. These are neural patterns which are false. You look around in a club, you'll see some people who don't look that great. They're wearing normal clothes, but they're smiling and they have so many friends around them and they're having a great time. And all of a sudden you feel envious. You look around at your sad groups, all well decked up, all fancily dressed, and everyone's just trying to be prim and proper and no one's having fun. That's an example. Your neural pattern is defined by what you see, our beliefs of beauty, our beliefs of hotness. So there's so many people think the more flesh I show, the more likes I'll get on social media. Of course you'll get likes. People are not liking you. They're liking the fact that they can see so much of your body. Men and women, it's the same thing. It's okay. We're all human beings. We like to be appreciated. I like to have a great body. Someone else likes to be great. That's all fine until it starts defining your behaviors. Until you start connecting your self-worth with it. Then it's a big, big problem. Because then everything is connected with the way you look. And our looks will change. Our bodies will change. And then our self-worth will crumble and we'll move into depression. So it's very important that you have a gratitude list. And every time you find yourself having negative self-talk with yourself, look at your thought list, look at your gratitude list, and that is how you do it. Negative self-talk, you're always assuming the worst. Why must you assume the worst? You know, we have to change this neural pattern of assuming the worst. You know, when you think back in your life, every time you assume the worst, did it really happen? Most of you will say, no, it really didn't. It was all your fears that became illusions, that became stories, that became your own subconscious pattern because you kept telling yourself those stories over and over and over again. So you see, this is what negative self-talk does to us. And the only simplest way is not more spirituality, is not more meditation. We should do these things that grounds us, but taking action, which is, am I in control of monitoring my thoughts, which means I need to be aware of my feelings. That is why reflection in between the day, at the end of your day, I want to know, my day is measured on not how much money I made or what people said. Was it a good day? Did I feel good? That's all that matters. Did I feel good? So I may have made a lot of losses in my business, but I still feel good because a lot of good things happen. I had some really good time with my family, or, I changed someone's life, or someone appreciated me. So you see, money doesn't define how I feel. Something else made me end my day on a good note. So it is so important for us to reflect. But imagine if I was stuck. Oh, my business didn't do well. I made a loss. This COVID has caused so many problems. People around me are doing better than me. I don't think I'm good enough. Maybe I need to sell my business. Maybe I'm not good enough. Negative self-talk. You can't even go to bed feeling happy because your negative self-talk spiraled you deeper and deeper into that one thought alone. But when we're able to mindfully live with consciousness and awareness. So in a nutshell, before I end, it is living consciously with awareness. Doesn't mean you have to become a yogi. Doesn't mean you have to give up your wealth. Doesn't mean you have to give up anything. Have all of that. Aspire for more. But live with mindfulness. If what you're doing is not making you happy day in and day out, you got to be honest with yourself and change what you're doing. Because that is the truth of your unhappiness. Nothing else can change it. Nothing else can fulfill you. So sometimes we got to reflect and we got to be aware. So negative self-talk doesn't help us. It completely ruins every aspect of our life. You may have abundance waiting to enter your life. You may have love waiting to enter your life, but it's only not entering because of your own limitations, because of your own subconscious mind, which is dictating your behavior and building your own walls and your own prison around you. So the only way out is to change the way you think. And those same seeds, I said, words. Imagine if negative words, those negative seeds does so much. Imagine what positivity does. That's where affirmations come in. You just need one affirmation. An affirmation, a lot of people have lists of affirmations. It won't work because an affirmation has to become like a mantra. You say it on and on and on and on over again until it becomes a pattern in your subconscious mind. And maybe after a week, you can take up a new affirmation. So take up an affirmation that takes everything in life. So like I have a common affirmation is, I am abundant. Simple. In my mind, abundance is not just money. It's money, it's health, it's wealth, it's love, it's every single thing. It comes in that one definition of abundance. So in my mind, every time I see the word abundance, I see wealth, family, it's everything that I want. So my affirmation is constantly, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant. That's the only thing that needs to go into my subconscious mind, because then my behaviors that my subconscious mind dictates will come from that space. So don't confuse yourself. Don't make affirmations a fad where you have long lists and you're doing so many different affirmations, because that is constant repetition. That's why we pray. Why do we chant? Why are we made to repeat our prayers? So it goes into our subconsciousness and it dictates our behavior. It dictates, the prayer dictates our behavior because it's now in our subconscious program. So that's about it when it comes to negative self-talk. Please understand, most people manifest the good as well as the bad. I have so many people today with cancer who have said, Luke, the only thing I've been hoping for and wishing every night is that I don't get cancer. And I keep saying, I don't want to get cancer. I don't want to get cancer. I don't want to get cancer. A couple of months or years later, they come to us with cancer. Negative self-talk. You manifested it. Whatever you think about too much in a repeated way and it becomes your neural pattern, it will become your subconscious program. And whether your subconscious mind decides to play that program today, tomorrow, 2 years later, or 5 years later, you don't know, I don't know. We just want to keep the subconscious mind filled with the right things. And there's a lot of wrong things filled in all of our subconscious minds. It's our responsibility to change the wiring, to change. How do we change? Through repetition, through thinking differently. Remember one thing, your subconscious mind, and this is the beauty and the power of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a lie and the truth. It doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. Why is this so powerful and yet so destructive? Because I can program my subconscious mind by believing whatever it is that I want to with no limitations. And it is going to go into my subconscious mind no matter what. At the same time, I can also program myself with the wrong things. And the wrong things will also soon become my truth. It will soon become my behavior because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination, reality, between a lie and a truth. So when we constantly lie, after a while, we don't even know we're lying because it's become our truth. We don't even believe what we're doing is wrong because it's become our new way of living. Thank you everyone for your time. Have a great evening.